This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Well, Richard, Coach Ben was talking about yesterday the inability to really recruit at home I know they played October 1st against Alabama at home, but you go a full month, you don't play, I think it's either the 3rd or the 4th when you host Liberty. How difficult is that on a staff when there's over a month you don't get to host anyone?
Well, the difficult part, I guess, is, you may have a kid that really his window of opportunity to maybe be able to visit you is maybe 1 or 2 weeks in October, because a lot of these kids already have so many games mapped out where they're going to go and all that. But you just hope in the month of November that they have some open dates, because obviously that's when Arkansas will be at home. So I think it's a disadvantage. I mean, good gosh, they had home games earlier this season, and they're going to finish strong in November. So about the only really negative is if the kid only has an opening, say, in October, which obviously you're on the road.
Coach also talked about not going on the road in recruiting this week. Seems like a lot of their focus is just on the game ahead in Provo, where Tommy's at right now. Do you think that's just because of the 3 straight losses?
No, some of that could be that, but really, they don't recruit anywhere near Utah for the most part. I mean, usually when if you recruit on the road and you got a game, you're on the road, you're in Alabama, you're in South Carolina, you're in Georgia, where you have basically your recruiting base. There's not really many areas in Utah or in that region that you can recruit to, because usually, the guys usually drive or fly, say from the team hotel to wherever they're going, and there's in a 2 or 3 hour radius is really not or a 2 hour radius. You don't want to have a guy 3 hours away, and he finishes seeing his game, and he gets back around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, to the team hotel. So the possibilities of being able to go out and see kids, in that region of the country is it's not very good.
It's certainly kind of out of your footprint, but I think one thing, a trip like this to Provo and Utah, I mean, how many of these kids on this team you think have ever been to Utah on a family vacation? Probably very limited. You're selling an experience, and oftentimes, Rich, we think about only recruiting high school kids. We got to remember you got to re-recruit your current roster a lot of times anymore. An experience like this is something you can sell to future players, and also to your roster that you got on hand now. A trip like this is truly maybe once in a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean it is different. Definitely, as far as the brand of football that they play, in that region of the country. Obviously, the terrain, just the different things that come with a road trip. Obviously, they don't get to enjoy it that much. They don't see much, nope. But at the same time, they do get to see, from the air when they fly in and fly out and all that, and maybe around town. But that's basically it. But you don't get to enjoy it, say, as much as maybe if you a preseason tournament for basketball or something like that.
Yeah, they won't be they won't be seeing the Arch down at down at Arches National Park like a lot of fans are already out here doing. But this is an important game just to kind of rebound. We've talked about that some this week. Is hey, you're at a point in the season where a lot of people believe this is the fork in the road. This is make or break. How do you evaluate Saturday, and what's the importance to the season beyond just getting a win and getting off the schneid?
I'm like everybody else. I think it's very important. I mean, last year they had a 3-game losing streak, and they kind of got on a run and obviously finished well. The opportunity is here for this. I think they're going into this game. I mean, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I think they're going into this game pretty confident, thinking, looking at based on film study and things of that nature, with BYU. I'm not saying that they're going to go in there overconfident or anything, and not saying that they're guaranteed to win, but I think they feel like that they match up pretty good with BYU. And hey, and it is kind of exciting going in, like you said, going into a different area and different stadium, different environment, and be something that they obviously haven't seen, as far as Provo, Utah, or BYU crowd and atmosphere. But at the same time, good gosh, I mean, they've been in some hostile environments before in the SEC. So whatever BYU has for them, as far as the crowd and everything like that, I don't think it's going to be anything major.
We're talking with Richard Davenport this morning, some recruiting, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Richard, got a text here. What's the latest on Braylon Russell? I know he decommitted out of Benton.
Yeah, based on what I've been able to gather is that he felt like that he made a decision a little too quick, and he wants to go through the process before making a final decision. Arkansas is still going to recruit him. I mean, he's not going to have any shortage of people wanting him to visit and all that. But I think he just wants to experience, and that's one of the things that he said when he visited Arkansas back in July. I remember talking to him, and he'd been visiting. He'd made a visit to Ole Miss and asked him about that, and he said, "I just want to enjoy the process." And I think that's the situation there. Some schools will not really recruit you that heavily when you're committed to a school. And I know that's happened a few times with kids where they felt like they needed to open it up. And when they open up, when I say open up, they have to kind of decommit to get the attention of other schools and say, "Hey, I'm serious. I'd like to visit you," or something like that. And maybe that's the case. That part, I don't know if that's the reasoning as far as the decommitment, instead of just going ahead and visiting other schools and say you're committed, but at the same time you're not truly committed when you're visiting other schools. So anyway, just really it just sounds like, based on what like I said, that he just wants to enjoy the process and visit schools before making a final decision.
Richard, got another text about Bison Lane. I think Pike Road, Alabama is where he's from.
Right, offensive lineman, yeah.
What did he experience when he came to Fayetteville?
Well, he didn't. He didn't visit Alabama for the Alabama game. He initially had told me a while back that he was going to make an official visit to Arkansas for the Alabama game, and then things kind of changed a little bit. And it looks like right now Tennessee seems to be in a pretty strong situation with him. And I think Arkansas really right now, being at 23 commitments, you never say never, especially in recruiting. And I say that so many times when I'm on with you guys, but it's true. But I don't think that they're going to add another high school kid to this class because, like I said, they're 23. But I mean, you just never say never unless there's a kid that comes along that is too good to pass up. They may go ahead and try to add him and bring him in for an official visit later this season, or say in December.
RD, we're halfway through the football season, but basketball is here. Red-white game Sunday. I've been seeing some notes from high school coaches that are welcoming parts of Eric Musselman's staff in. I know they're out on the road. I saw Coach Muss was, I guess, down at the Dallas Cowboys facility, but there's been other coaches with some social media posts about some other places they've been. I've seen. Kind of give us an update on what's going on with the basketball recruiting as we're on the doorstep of the season and the red-white game Sunday.
Yeah, well, they saw they're obviously out seeing kids in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You got Deke Pate, a 2024 prospect, a ESPN 4-star prospect in the area, and a couple others. Oh gosh, and I saw a couple of them, and one of the names escapes me. I apologize, but he's only the number one prospect in the country in the 24 class. I visited with him when I was down there for the Texas A&M game, and his name escapes me, and I'm sure that he was one of the kids that they were seeing. But and then they were seeing in-state kids yesterday too. So they kind of spread out throughout the country.
Talking about Trey Johnson, Richard.
Trey Johnson, yeah, man. Thank you, buddy.
It's early. Totally get it. So, well, RD, I know it's going to be fun. I know that Barnhill's nostalgic for a lot of us old heads that remember a lot of great games in that building. I guess for a lot of the fan base, it'll mean a lot. I don't know how much for a recruiting standpoint playing that red-white game is going to bring, but that will be a neat old-time feeling on Sunday.
Well, I agree. I mean, if anything, Coach Muss, and he really respects the tradition and the history of the Arkansas program, and that's something. And every time he has an opportunity to sell the program, especially if kids get on campus or what have you, or even if they don't get on campus. I know a couple of kids, Dallas Thomas and Botane from Little Rock Central, and they're not going to be able to make it, but he's going to see that as an opportunity to say, hey, this is where Nolan Richardson kind of got things started before, Bud Walton in the national championship in '94, and go through the history of Arkansas basketball at Barnhill. And a lot of people that, a little older enough that can relate to that. And I just think that, that's like the video that they just sent out this last day or two, showing the history of some of the great moments of Arkansas basketball, and a lot of them originated from Barnhill. So I think it's a good thing. You're obviously playing all your games and Bud Walton, but also you're recognizing the past too.
Richard, we'll leave it there this morning, and hopefully we'll have a good red-white game on Saturday. Arkansas can get a win and get back on track this weekend in Provo, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you later.
Football is back, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your football betting needs this season. You'll find the latest odds, matchup info, player news, and game trends. And as your continued source for all sports wagering info, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, live scores, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports and events like MLB, MMA, tennis, boxing, and even golf. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 100% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. Bet online, where the game starts.